Welcome to the Great Dane. As we sit down in here in the basement, it seems like this place wasn't quite originally set up for a restaurant. And it wasn't. This at one time was part of a stable. You are sitting in a stable. At one point, the Fess Hotel, which was the original occupants of this building, could house over 60 horses. It was Madison's longest running hotel at 130 years. The Fess family themselves ran it for over 100 years. Now, 130 years is a long time to conjure up a few ghost stories. Things have happened way since the beginning. One of the earliest modern technological advances they had was telephones with the great big switchboards. Now, when a room wanted service, a light for a certain room would come on, and at the switchboard they would know to go give them service. That was all well and good, but as you can see from the outside of this beautiful historical building, it was built in sections. One time after they remodeled, they took out a few rooms to put in a restaurant and a barber shop. They would get lights for service to a room that was no longer there. A modern day equivalent, one of the managers has told me about, said at night, when there are only a few employees left taking care of business at the end of the evening, they would get a phone call. It would be an in-house phone call. Now in 2005, the owners of it at the time had enough spooky things to happen that they hired a medium to come through the building and see what she could see. She walked in up by the pool hall bar. First thing she said is she saw a lot of spirits. Not just the booze, the other kind too. But they were fine. As she made her way down here in the basement, perhaps one of the oldest portions of the building, they stopped by a break room in the back, and the medium said that she felt a presence of an elderly man. He asked her what time it was. Then they went into the notorious spooky room. Employees here say they have a storage room or a spooky room in the back that they do not like to go into. Some of them anyway. A month or so ago when I was in this establishment, I asked the gentleman who was bartending about it. He said he hated going in there because it was always super cold and kind of gave him the creeps. And he said to this day there are some employees that absolutely refuse to go into it. I haven't been in it yet. A couple of my favorite stories comes from an employee who is a bartender manager. She said one night in the pool hall, where the bar is, the two gentlemen that were working there were counting up money at the end of the evening. At the back part of the pool hall, they have the cues lined up in racks on the walls, as most pool halls do. Both of them said they looked up when they heard a commotion, and it looked like somebody was going through, popping the pool cues off the wall one by one. Two of them saw that. The manager herself said she was the last one in the building at about 3 in the morning. Only one here in the office, taking care of business. They kept a black Sharpie hanging from the ceiling. She's doing her stuff, and then out of the corner of her eye, she notices the Sharpie starts to move just a little bit. She's like, okay, it's nothing. But it keeps moving. So she's like, focus on work, there's a draft. She knew there was no draft. Then, the Sharpie started turning in a circle. So she just gave up and started watching it. Then she said, it looked like somebody grabbed the Sharpie and whipped it around really fast. And I said, oh my God, what did you do? And she goes, oh, I left. I'm like, but you came back. And she goes, I need a job. So that's one of the many, many stories that has happened here. I like it when it's a slower time. Every now and then I get to ask the people that work here what's going on. One time when I came in the front, I asked the hostess if they had anything good happen. She says, oh yeah, they're having lots of trouble in the apartments above the pool hall, and somebody recently saw a an upper torso of a man floating around in the basement. So we have lots and lots of paranormal activity here in the Great Dane. It's a great place. They have great beer, great food, and one of the best secret beer gardens in the city. I highly recommend this place. Thank you for joining me today.